Welcome back to Clutch Takes. We're back from our break, and today me and Evan are going to be going over our 5 players of who we think will break out next season. The first player I have on this list is Lonzo Ball. Now, I don't expect a huge breakout, but I expect a better year from Lonzo, as he's had 2 unhealthy seasons. Now, him and LeVert have a chance to get away from the Los Angeles spotlight, and I feel like Lonzo, with all the young talent and the fast pace with Zion and Brandon Ingram, they'll finally get to play their game, and you'll have a semi-good season to break out even further in years to come.
My first pick is JV, and the reason why I'm picking him is because of his stats after he got traded from the Raptors to the Grizzlies last year showed that he's a 20-10 center. I think next year he'll make a push to make the All-Star game, and he'll reciprocate the same stats he did on the Grizzlies last year, but for a full year next year. And I think that JV will be utilized even more, showing that he broke out as he got traded there.
Second player I have on my list is Caris LeVert. Now, Caris LeVert showed us all glimpses of what he can be as he averaged 20 points per game in the playoffs this year against the 76ers. I think he can carry that on, being a second option to Kyrie Irving, with Kevin Durant currently being out for the season. I also feel that when Kevin Durant does come back from his Achilles injury, that Caris LeVert might get pushed out, just like D'Angelo Russell did, as he's too much of a top talent. And I feel like some team will overpay for his services, and he'll have the chance to be a second or first option on a team.
My second player I'm going to be talking about is Bagley. Him and the coach did not get along last year, as he was underutilized as the second overall pick in the 2018 draft. He had really good rookie numbers, but I feel like that could even become better next year with the new coach and the big three of him, Hield, and Fox. Sacramento Kings are going to be really exciting next year, and you're going to watch out for Bagley.
For my third player, I have Malcolm Brogdon, newly acquired from the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, Malcolm Brogdon was in the playoffs this year, and he had a decent showing, but he came back from an injury. Now, everyone who is a Milwaukee Bucks fan knows that Malcolm Brogdon was an integral part of their success, and you could even say he was their second best player on the team, ahead of Chris Middleton. Now he's getting his chance with the Indiana Pacers, especially with Oladipo out for the time being. He'll have his chance to be a number 1 option to carry Indiana. And I feel like him and Oladipo will also be a dynamic backcourt. I hope Oladipo comes back from his injury, but for now, Malcolm Brogdon, I feel like will carry the load along with some of the other players they got in the offseason, as Indiana low-key has a pretty good team this year.
My third pick will surprise people, as I have Murray from the Spurs breaking out next year, as now Popovich has made it clear that he's moving on from the old, and they're rumored to trading DeRozan and maybe even Aldridge, and even Rudy Gay, as they want to trust their young guys. And their most trusted young guy that Popovich always has trusted in the past is Murray. And I think that he'll lead this team to playoff contention, and I feel like he'll have a breakout season, and he's going to be a steal of draft once again for the Spurs.
My second player is Lauri Markkanen. I think he'll average 22 points and 11 rebounds, as he already had a really good season last year, averaging almost 19 points per game. Now, the difference I feel like this year is that I feel like he'll be an all-star, as the Chicago Bulls are building a nice team now, as they finally got a point guard in Kobe White, and they have some nice players to surround them, like Zach LaVine also.
Jackson Jr. is my fourth pick, as I think that him, as well as Morant, is going to be the young core, as well as JV, as a big three young core, as they moved on with Conley and Gasol last year. They're finally going in with the new blood, and I think Jackson Jr. will work really well with Morant. Now that Jackson Jr. has the space to play more, and hopefully he'll have a healthy season, I think he'll average 20 points, because Morant is a really good playmaker, and he's going to allow JV and Jackson Jr. to develop into good players.
The first player I have on my list is Pascal Siakam, your 2019 Most Improved Player of the Year. And I think that with Kawhi Leonard leaving to go to the Clippers and joining Paul George, that Siakam becoming the number one option on the Toronto Raptors, he will continue to develop, as he is a player that only played basketball at a late age. And I feel like he has a lot more to improve on, if you can believe it or not, even after coming off this award. As I feel like he'll average 23 points and 8.5 rebounds and take an all-star starter position. That includes even the likes of Butler, Griffin, and Middleton, as I feel like Siakam will develop more of a jump shot as his three-point percentage will continue to rise, and he'll become even more of a better overall player.
My last pick for the player who's going to break out next season was the number 1 overall pick in the 2018 draft, DeAndre Atten. And I feel like he put up amazing numbers, even though he was very quiet last season. He quietly made it to the Rookie of the Year conversation, even though no one passed to him on his team. Now that Rubio has been added to the team for more playmaking and a true point guard, I think that they're going to utilize Atten even more, and he can possibly become an all-star by next year. He put up good numbers such as 15 and a 10, and I feel like he can put up even more, as next year he will be the focal point of the offense with Booker.
That'll do it on Clutch Takes for our top 10 breakout players of next year. We just recently surpassed the 100 subscriber barrier, and if you guys could continue to show us some support, that would be great. And we'll keep coming out with the videos, and see you guys next time.